Welcome back to another episode of Not So Pro Football Talk / Fantasy, because we are talking fantasy today. Now, what is going on, Not So Pro Nation, as we head into, for most leagues, going to be the second round of playoffs? Who's still around? Have your hopes have been already crushed? I do not know. I'm only alive in one of my leagues at this point. It's one of the NSP leagues, and I am facing an absolute juggernaut named Rave. Even though I am the first seed, he just came off a 180-point game, and he is looking very scary coming at me this week. So I better put my A game on. But guess what? I have 5 players projected to be out this week. So I feel like AJ did last week. I'm going to have to struggle through this. I'm hoping CJ Stroud could play, but also he's going to end up going against the Browns next week. So looks like I'm hitting the waiver wire tonight to get a quarterback. But we'll see if I'm able to pull this team forward. Vincent, how are you feeling going into this next week?
Not too bad. I'm in the playoffs in 2 out of my 4 leagues, so 50% made it to the second round. One of them is in the same position that you are in. I was a number 1 seed. Have a few guys that are out, not as many as you, but I'm going up against Mr. Brandon, and I think he put up like about 140 points, so not too bad, but it is what it is. There's Dizzle. He's back. He's ready.
The boys are back.
I'm assuming he's got power, because his phone must be charged.
Yeah, Dizzle, let us know if you have power. Bro, what is up, man? Are you here to flaunt your amazing team at us again? And also, how are you feeling as a Niners fan? I always love hearing what you got to say, bro.
He's probably still stealing candy from kids.
Wouldn't doubt that guy. He's one of a kind right there. I want to do. Oh, let's go. Okay.
Look at this. Go ahead.
Back up. He said my team put up 150 points and I lose because Diggs and Brees did bad. Yeah, Brees did bad for me. Thankfully, I had a bye, so I didn't have to worry about that in one of my leagues. But yeah, if I was going against the guy who I'm facing last week, I would have gotten destroyed. Because Brees did not play very well. But Bar says we are winning the Super Bowl unstoppable, talking about the 49ers. That they are looking unstoppable for sure. But we know what can't stop them.
Turning off the lights.
No. The quarterback getting hurt. We know that.
Oh, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Except the Seahawks.
Vince, your Seahawks won me $180 yesterday. The Monday Night Football underdogs strike again. That's pretty good.
Yes, sir. I should have bet some money on there too, but it is what it is. I was just happy with the dub.
All right. He said I had the second highest points by 40, and you still lost.
So the only other guy that had more points was the guy you were facing.
This is why I hate fantasy, man. This is why I got problems with it, man.
Seeding, man. Seeding.
It's horrible. Just says, still no power, boys. 57%. Battery through some shows and movies on the iPad at work today, including new J-Law movie. Can't wait to see those cannons. What's the J? Oh, Jennifer Lawrence. Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, gosh.
For some reason, I went T-Law, Trevor Lawrence. I was like, Trevor Lawrence has a new movie?
2 cannons?
Wow. Yeah. Cool. But I'm going to go ahead and share the team that I'm currently dealing with this week. So I got CJ Stroud, who's most likely going to be projected to be out. Tony Pollard, who's going to get decent points, most likely. Brees Hall, who's going against Washington. I'm hoping he can do better than what he's been doing this past few weeks. JSN sitting in there in the spot right now. Chris Godwin also sitting in my wide receiver spots. Evan Ingram, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Aubrey, and then San Fran defense. And then look at this. Look at my bench. What am I supposed to do here, man? Allen out. Jamar Chase out. Nico Collins out. The guys who pulled me into first place and put me at the top, they're all out. Well, I'm frustrated. So, Vincent, who do you think I should pick off for quarterback to replace Stroud?
Well, here's my thing. Who do you want at quarterback? Because I only see one guy on there that I would actually like. Oh, maybe Jake Browning would be decent, but he's going to get
that's risky.
It's a risky business. Yeah, I was thinking Matthew Stafford. I think he's one of the most consistent quarterbacks. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I just think he's the better option with who he's going to be playing. He's in my top 10 for the best matchups of this week. So
I'm kind of feeling Browning right now.
Browning is a cool wild card because he has been playing pretty well.
I'm gonna put my waiver in for him right now, but I may change that later to Matthew Stafford. But yeah, not feeling very confident heading into this next week. Justin says Olave should play this week, right? He was limited today, and Rams secondary is cheese like that. What Reed throws on his head? You mean this thing right here? That beautiful boy. Olave, if he was limited today, it just depends on how his injury heals. If he stays limited, it would be I would be surprised if they start him. Every game's a must-win right now for the Saints as they're fighting for their division, but I don't think you need to rush a guy out there.
Not bad. I like this next question.
My opponent is going to need a new D this week. LV, Las Vegas. Then they put Kansas City. Should I pick up Washington versus Jets, or Chicago versus Arizona, or Pats versus Denver to block him from getting one? Vincent, what do you got?
So I'm assuming it's the first defense that he's talking about of each one. So he says if he were to pick up Washington because they play the Jets, they have the worst offense out there. Chicago versus Arizona, I don't think that one's good either. If anything, maybe the Pats versus Denver, but I think you should be able to live with all three of those if you're talking Washington, Arizona, and or Chicago and the Patriots. I think all those defenses are just going to get, their average 10 to 13 points, depending on how your point system is. So it won't be a deal breaker, but I feel like 2 out of the 3 of those defenses, whichever one you choose, only one of them is going to do decently well. The other ones are just going to be mediocre, less than 10 points in my opinion. So
I don't like Washington versus Jets too much. They're the worst ranked defense going against the worst ranked offense. We have no idea what's going to happen out there. I would not be picking up Washington for my defense.
Same thing with Chicago. I wouldn't pick up their defense against Arizona, especially with Kyler Murray trying to prove a point that he can start in the NFL at this point in time. I think he's going to be running all over them.
Yeah, so I think I would have to settle with Pats versus Denver, even though, Denver they win games, they can, but they don't put up the most insane points. So I don't mind that one. I don't mind it.
Not bad. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing that you did, Reed. I'm gonna pull up mine right here.
All right.
So this is my lineup in the league that I am first overall. So I got Lamar Jackson. I don't know about that one. I think I might be picking up someone, but I have Kyler Murray and Jordan Love, so they might be sliding into the lineup. I just have to really think about it. I got Kyron Williams, Alvin Kamara, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, Hawkinson, Rashad White. So that has been my starting lineup most of the year, and I had gone 11-3. So I'm pretty proud of it. But I really wish Isaiah Pacheco was healthy, and I hope going along into this week he is healthy, because I would love to put him in over Rashad White. I just feel like he's going to be doing better against Las Vegas. I feel like they're going to run the ball more. So I would like to have him in there. But other than that, I will show who I am facing. And this is the guy here on this left side. He has Patrick Mahomes, McCaffrey, who is, always putting up amazing points, but he has Ezekiel Elliott, Johnson, Hopkins, Kittle, and Waddle. So as you see, his weak points here are Elliott, Johnson, and Hopkins, and Kittle on some weeks. So I'm hoping that he just misplays and he doesn't put Godwin in. He is probably going to go after another defense, since he has San Francisco and Cleveland here. But next week they have pretty decent matchups. So he might be changing up his roster a little bit. So I'm hoping that he misplays and doesn't start the correct people, because mine is pretty much dead set. But I'll go ahead and show the other league that I'm in. This one I'm not very confident in. I feel like I could lose this week against a tough matchup against, I believe, who is it? I believe it's actually Benny. He's a second overall ranked guy there. I have Brock Purdy, Alvin Kamara again in this league. Aaron Jones, who I'm finally excited, got more than 10 points. I was like ready to cut him last week. But I have Devontae Adams, who's wishy-washy. Same thing with Stephon Diggs, wishy-washy. Njoku's been
Tear it
decent.
up.
Yeah, I like him, but I just feel like he has always those down weeks every now and then. So I'm hoping it's not this week. But then I have Waddle and Njigba. So I slid Njigba in there over, I believe it was Olave because he got hurt. But I have Swift, Singletary, and Jonathan Taylor there too, waiting to get in on the action. I'm just waiting for them to get healthy. So hopefully I can outlast this next week. Hopefully win and get into the championship game. So that would be the best overall thing for me. But let us know in the comments what you think of both Reed and my rosters going into the next playoff week. It's going to be tough. So we'll see how these injuries turn out.
So this wants us to look at his.
Did he send it?
Yeah, he put it in the Discord, so I'm trying to show it. All right, and you know how Discord is; it's not very user friendly. So you tell me if you can see it better now. No.
I mean, it's still the same size. It's
see it
not
now?
bad. I feel there you go. That one's better, I think. You
All
can't see it 100%, but it's better than with the other one.
Yeah, we hate Discord here. So he's got Josh Allen as his quarterback, David Montgomery, AJ Dillon, which and I hope he comes back from that broken thumb this week. Other than that, Aaron Jones is back and he looks pretty decently healthy. That may be a bad start in my opinion. Devontae Adams, wishy-washy. Deebo Samuel, who's been tearing it up lately. Firemouth, which I think is a decent start. Godwin destroyed the Packers defense. I would be shocked if he was able to do that 2 weeks in a row. Curtis Samuel, and then Las Vegas defense special teams, and then Elliott as his kicker. Not bad.
He's got some work to do. Oh, he's Olive Garden.
Okay. I was like,
yeah,
man, I've heard about Dizzle's team. I don't remember him saying AJ Dillon. Okay, sorry, that's his opponent, which is pretty bad. He's got Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, Kamara, Olave, T. Higgins, and Sam Laporta, absolute beast. Steal the draft if you got him. CD Lamb, Amon St. Brown, Denver's defense, and then Butker. All right, Dizzle, you're fine, buddy. You're gonna be okay. All right.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it.
You should win. You should be in the championship next week, unless something totally bad happens to all those players. But we don't wish that upon anybody, because I also have a lot of those players, so I don't want that to happen. But But Liam, he says pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex. It's a half PPR. He's got Keenan Allen, Zay Flowers, Joshua Downs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Saquon Barkley, Mixon, Jacobs, and Ty Chandler, and Spears as his basically backups. But that one's going to be hard for me. But I definitely think if Keenan Allen is healthy, he needs to be a starter. I think this week against, let me remember who they are playing here. They're playing against the Buffalo Bills, I believe. Correct me on that if I'm wrong, Reed. But I still think he's a start. So hopefully he's healthy. But yeah, I would put Keenan in there, and I would put most likely Flowers in there. I'm not 100% sure on
Flowers
how
is
good
going against Niners defense.
the Niners. Yeah, but they still give up some points. I still think Baltimore is going to have a good overall offense. I just don't like Downs. I would say JSN too, but he is not getting the targets that I want him to get. He just had that 1 touchdown that was boosting his stats this past week. So other than that, he would have had 8 points, or probably even less because it was a long pass. So he would probably have like 6 or 7 points. So wide receivers, if you could see if anybody's there on the waiver wire, but at this point in time, I just think Keenan and Flowers is who you should run with. But of course, play Mixon. He's been playing good. Play Ty Chandler. He played good this past week. Spears, he's going against Seattle defense. I just don't know if they're going to be playing Derrick Henry more or Spears, because the last time that Derrick Henry played us, he ran all over us, but Spears was not a thing yet. So I think Spears could be a good dark horse type player to put in the flex. But if I'm being honest here, I think I'm going to go Mixon, Saquon, and Ty Chandler just to round out those last 3 spots for running backs and the flex. What do you think, Reed?
Keenan plays. Yes, he's an absolute start. You have to. It's the playoffs. You can't just sit Keenan Allen. I like Zay Flowers a little bit. I think I would lean more towards JSN just because of matchup. Flowers has the chance to just be completely locked up with how Tre'Davious Ward has been playing. He's been playing very, very well. But Zay Flowers, I would go with him if Keenan Allen is not healthy. After that, I would go Saquon. No, I wouldn't go Saquon. I would go Mixon and Ty Chandler, as Vincent said. And then I would, in the flex, I would have to go Saquon.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stats here. I mean, I stand by what I said. I think I would go Keenan and Flowers. Yeah, he has a tough matchup, but Downs is not putting up points, and Smith and Jigba also is very wishy-washy. So it's up to you, man. You want to take the risk with Flowers? I would. But cool.
I'm just scared of that Niners defense, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is scary, and they are at San Francisco, but I still think the Baltimore Ravens are going to put up a decent game. They aren't going to get crushed like how the Seahawks got crushed that first time that they played them. I just think the Ravens are a better team, and they're going to be putting a little bit of pressure on that offense of San Francisco. I still think San Francisco wins by at least 2 touchdowns and when it's all said and done, but it should be a good matchup.
For sure. Liam says he's rocking with Flacco this week. He won me last week. That's awesome, man. I might look to see if Flacco is available on this CJ Stroud injured league I'm in, because that's not a bad option. But Flacco has been playing insane. If you told me that Flacco is a potential viable quarterback option in the playoffs at the beginning of the year, I would have called you dumb. But this is the world we apparently live in. He is playing like the old elite type of guy that he used to be, which has been a long time since he's been that guy.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years ever since he got booted. But yeah, he's in my top 10 for sure of best matchups because he's going against Houston. They're a little banged up there, so I think it's going to be a great game for the Cleveland Browns, being led by Joe Flacco.
Cool. You got any other matchups, Vincent?
Yeah, I got
You to
I got
watch
matchups for all positions
all
here.
positions.
Yeah, I'll just run through it just to be quick
Yeah.
as we start our clock with the timer here, just because we don't have any comments. So if you have comments, go ahead and put them down according to your matchups or just anything fantasy football related. But my best matchups right now, for sure. Oh, well, we got Lamb here. He's jumping the gun. He says Stafford or Goff. In my opinion, I have Stafford higher this week. Goff does have those weeks where he does go off. This one could be one as he's going against Minnesota. But I like to play it safe in the playoffs. I like my guys who are going to get me my points for sure. Stafford is a guy who gets you 18 to 22 points, no doubt about it, especially with his matchup against New Orleans. They have a good defense, but Stafford still plays well against any defense. But I also have Jared Goff in my top 10 too. He's going against Minnesota. I mean, he could have a game, man. You never know. It's just dependent on if Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to run all over that defense. And I think it's very possible. So, big boom guy is for sure Goff. But also he could be a bust. You don't know how that game is going to go down, especially since it's a divisional game. But Matthew Stafford, I think for sure will get you at least 18 points. So do with it what you will. Read what you have there.
Yeah, I went to go research to see what Goff did in the first time they played Minnesota because it's later in the season. I assume they played already, but this is actually the first time they've played, and they're going to play them again in 2 weeks. Very odd way to end your season. But I'm going to go with Goff here. I think Stafford, yes, that might be the safer pick. That he's going to get you those guaranteed points, but yeah, I think that the offense is playing very well. Goff is playing very well. They put up 42 points last week. He went off. I just like Jared Goff here. Divisional opponent. This is if they win the division. They're going to be playing hard this game.
I also believe that too. So yeah, he's my boom guy there for sure. If you want that boom type of player, it's most likely going to be Goff this week. Let's see. Alejandro Suarez says I have Josh Allen and Tua at quarterback, CMC, Rashad White, Hall at running back. Wide receivers are Debo, Adams, DJ Moore. Ooh, good job. Jeez. Puka and Amari. He says I need one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, and a flex. Honestly, this week I think Josh Allen is the play. Tua is going against the Cowboys, so I think Josh Allen will get more points playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going to be running the ball, probably get a rushing touchdown in there because Los Angeles Chargers defense is not as good as they want it to be. So I definitely think Josh Allen for sure. CMC must start. I mean, no question
Yep.
about it. Rashad White, if he's playing, I have him here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's. Sorry, I have two running backs that I always get mixed up as Rashad White and what's his name, Pacheco. But Pacheco's the ones that is hurt. So Rashad White must start, and I think this week Brees Hall should go into your flex. But that's just me. I would definitely start DJ Moore. He's been playing lights out, except for 1 week. But he's been averaging like 20, 25 points, depending on your points in PPR there in that league. This one's the next one that is hard for me because usually Debo is doing very well, but so does Puka. So I think I'm going to lean Debo here as the last guy in the wide receiver spot. That's just me. I hope he still does well in this matchup because I feel like this one might be a Kittle type game. But I think I still have more faith in Debo than I do with Puka at this point. So yeah, what do you think, Reed?
All right, so I'm definitely going Josh Allen. I think Tua has a tough matchup. CMC obvious. Rashad White definitely going in that spot. I'm honestly thinking about if I had an option, which he does have an option to stick in his flex, I'm gonna sit Brees Hall. If I just don't trust this Jets offense to be playing from the front, playing ahead, and that's the only way he's gonna get actual carries because if they fall If they fall behind early, they get stuck in these passing situations where Brees Hall is not utilized and he just isn't able to do anything. They got to be playing from ahead, and I just don't trust this Jets offense to be able to do that. So I'm leaning towards sitting him with this type of lineup. Then I'm going to go DJ Moore, definite lock. I'm going to go Debo and then Puka. I hate sitting Adams. I don't like that, especially after how well this Raiders offense just played, putting up 62 points. You feel like they're red hot, but they're going against the Kansas City Chiefs, divisional rival, and a pretty decent defense, a pretty good defense, in my opinion, the Chiefs have. So I'm going with those two wide receivers and Puka for my flats.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think that's definitely good too. I just think Brees Hall might pop off this week, but we'll see. We'll see.
I just don't trust it.
Yeah,
it's
it is
100% dependent on how well the offense plays. I just cannot trust it.
For sure, for sure. So we have Dizzle here. He says, if Olave doesn't play, London or Spears or Hollywood. In my opinion, I already gave my information on Spears against the Seahawks this week. I just don't know who's going to be getting the ball more. Hollywood, he put a big fat goose egg this past week. Not trustable in playoff situations here for fantasy. So I think that just leaves London. I know that Atlanta has a good matchup against Indianapolis. That defense has not been playing the way we usually think of the Indianapolis Colts. So I think London is possibly even a better play than Olave, even if he is healthy. But I just have more faith in Olave. So if he's not healthy, London it is. But if he is healthy, I still think Olave is a good guy to have in the flex because I'm assuming it's your flex position.
I agree.
Garan Bertrand, he says, if Pacheco or JT is active, will they get their normal workload? I definitely think Pacheco will because Pacheco's already practicing, I believe. JT, I'm not 100% sure after that surgery.
I think it's a stretch that he plays this week, and if he does play, I think they're smart with him. They just signed him to a new deal. They're not going to rush him back.
Exactly. Yeah, they're playing for the long run here. They have nothing to lose or nothing to really gain either. I don't think they're fighting for a spot in the playoffs at this point. Even if they are, I don't think they're going to make it. They just have too many holes there. But Pacheco definitely will. He has been that workhorse there. Nobody has really taken it from him, even in his absence this past week. So I would go Pacheco if he's healthy for sure, because he will get a workload, whether that's in the pass game or the run game. So it's our Liam. He says, yet again, pick 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex and a full PPR. This is a good lineup. I like this lineup. Olave, Ayuk, Kupp, Rashee Rice, Eckler, Gibbs, James Cook, Jesus, Moss, and McBride. Well, of course, McBride is in there. I wonder who he has as his starting tight end since he put McBride there for the flex position. But definitely, I think I'm going Kupp for sure. I'm gonna honestly, I feel like I'm gonna sit Eckler. He's going against Buffalo. He has not been performing these past 4 or 5 weeks like you'd want him to. But he says that he has Laporta in his starting lineup, so that is awesome. So yeah, I think I'm going Kupp. I think I'm going to go Rashee Rice just because he is that guy who gets most of the targets there. I would want to go Ayuk, but again, I just don't know who's going to be fed this game. And of course, you're going Gibbs and James Cook in your 2 running back positions. For sure, those guys are eating at this point in time. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Kupp, Rice, Gibbs, James Cook. And then I think I'm going to go Olave if he's healthy. If not, I'll be forced to put Ayuk in because I don't think McBride is going to go off this week. But I think I would go Olave. He's a little bit safer. What do you think, Reed?
Yeah, it just depends if Olave is healthy. I really don't like Rashee Rice too much. I don't just trust it. So it's a rookie. I don't know if I can trust it week to week. He says this is the NSP league, by the way. Then I don't like you because you kicked me out. You didn't let me in the playoffs, Leo. And I ain't giving you no. I'm kidding. Um, I'm kind of torn on the wide receivers. I'm going to start Cup. If Olave's healthy, I start him.
Let me give you some perspective on what Rashee Rice has done the past 4 weeks.
I know he's been playing well.
24, 14, 18, and 24 in the past
I
4
know
weeks.
he's been playing well. His Raiders team just put out a very good defensive effort, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip it. Eckler, obvious bench. The dude is absolutely washed. Gives James Cook
Horrible.
easy. McBride has been playing very well. Definitely stepped into that role 100% ever since Ertz left, which I'm very curious where he's still going to end up. He has not signed anywhere. Zach Ertz has. Yeah, I think I have to put McBride in the slot. The Flats. I'm gonna go Cup. I Olave if he's healthy, and then I'll go Rice. I'll cave.
I definitely think Rice should be in there. McBride is a close second for sure. He has been going off, but I just feel like this week he might not. There's been those weeks where he scores like 9 points, which is really good. But you want someone who's been more consistent. I think that's Rice at this point. Dizzle, he says, Reed, would you rather Packers make playoffs or lose and get better draft pick? Only talking 5-pick difference, probably.
I want us to make the playoffs. It's about building a winning culture. You don't want to lose. You should never be happy about losing unless all is lost and you want to get rid of the coaching staff, the whole player base, the whole roster, etc. That's the only time you want to tank. But we actually have a quarterback that I think we can win with. I do think we have found the quarterback of the future. Defense is atrocious. Needs to be completely overhauled. Just keep a few guys like Kenny Clark and Sean Gary and a couple others, but everybody else can hit the can, in my opinion, at this point. Yeah, you got to build a winning culture. I think it's the same boat the Bears are in. Like people are like, "Hey, the season's lost. Like you should just lose it out." It's like, no, this if you really believe Justin Fields is the guy of the future, you need to stop being losers and you start winning games. You got to change the culture. You got to change who you are. You're no longer just a like tank for the pick type of team. You are a winning culture, etc. I never want to become the team that is tank for a draft pick. We haven't been for many years. I don't ever want to do that. I don't think we're in the situation where we have to. I think for the most part, this is a reload the year, evaluation year to figure out who Jordan Love is. We got to stay competitive. I hope we win games. And hey, if we win out somehow, which I don't feel fully confident in, and the Seahawks lose one, we win, we make the playoffs. So it's totally possible right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think the Packers should push for the playoffs.
Yep.
Just my opinion there.
It's about culture.
Yeah, I think that is more important. Reed hit that nail right on the head. Dizzle also says that's easy when we're talking about Liam's picks. He says Olave, Cup, Gibbs, Cook, and Rice. So Liam, there you go. You got a third opinion there since Age is not here. Dizzle is here to save you.
This is our honorary host.
Liam says, yeah, it was an NSP league, by the way. So yeah. But yeah, let me get back to my top 10 for each position here. This was just like Spitfire. Didn't really go into it too much, but I did do a little bit of research here and there. Dizzle here, he says, Dizzle will be on in no time, but needs some dang power. Yeah, it is true. I mean, you could get on your phone, but we would rather
can't
you
play
have
Call
a
of Duty.
nice...
That's all he wants. He just wants Call of Duty.
That's what he wants. He's like Kyler Murray. He wants to play Call of Duty. But for quarterbacks here, I still think, even though Jalen Hurts has not been playing very well, I still think he is one of the top options here. He's going against the New York Giants. I would be totally shocked, 100% shocked, if the New York Giants were to shut out Jalen Hurts and make him have a bad game. So I don't see that happening. Eagles have to get something right, and I think facing a very sluggish team in the New York Giants, even though they have Danny DeVito, or no, I don't know why I call him Danny DeVito. I do not know why I do that. Tommy DeVito. I think it's because I'm so used to Danny Dimes, but yeah. So Tommy DeVito. I think it's going to be a shootout game, but this is a game that the Eagles have to show up in. So we have this comment here from Dizzle. He says, "Reed, I'll smoke your 100 and thieves butt." And he also says, "Was shocked Rodgers said he wasn't going to play this year. That ego is hurting." Yeah, we don't want to talk about that guy.
AJ does.
AJ does. Once AJ gets on, he'll love to talk about him.
Yeah.
But after Jalen Hurts, I have Josh Allen, followed by Patrick Mahomes, and then Jordan Love. Yes, he's going against a good Carolina defense. That line, does put some hurting on some quarterbacks. They are one of the top-ranked defenses against quarterbacks in fantasy this year. Don't know how. But I have Jordan Love as a top 4 quarterback this week. So if you have him on your bench, just like I do, I think I might slide him over Lamar Jackson this week. But after that, so one of the guys that I told Reed, I think he should pick up, Matthew Stafford against New Orleans. I have him number 5, followed by Brock Purdy against Baltimore. Joe Flacco is right there sitting at 7 against Houston. I think he's going to have a good week as well. Followed by Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, and lastly, Dak Prescott. I think he needs to have a good game this week to shut up all the haters who are saying, "Oh, he's not an MVP guy." It's just one game. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The whole entire team played bad. But moving on here, we got Liam here. He says, "Ravens defense against San Francisco." No. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Cincy versus Pittsburgh, I would do that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a much better one.
Yes.
There's like a small chance that the Ravens defense can just shut them out or whatever, but I would need a injury to happen to one of like the core 3, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, or Brock Purdy for that to happen. If all 3 of those guys play, they're going to be put into hurt and or at least be able to put up good points, like 20 plus points easily.
Exactly. So yeah, getting into running backs here, I have James Cook, of course. He's the number 1 running back currently for me. Followed by Kyron Williams, of course, Isaiah Pacheco if he is healthy. Followed by DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. I have him in my top 6. So Aaron Jones, I still think, is going to have a good productive week against Carolina. Yes, the defensive line is good against the run as well, but I feel like Aaron Jones is finally 100% healthy, maybe 99%, because there's always that 1% where he hurts his hamstring again. But I think Aaron Jones is a quality running back for this week. Slide him into your flex or your running back 2 position. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's not going to be as effective this week. This is just a hunch for me. I think the passing game is going to be more heavily sought out for this game, just like it was last week when they threw a bunch of touchdowns to Laporta, thankfully. But I also think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get in there, take the ball away from Jahmyr Gibbs, and I feel like Minnesota is going to have more time of possession in this game. I don't know why, but I think it is. Then I have Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, and lastly, CMC. I feel like Baltimore might be able to slow him down just a tad bit. He's going to score a lot of points still, but this is me just being very hopeful that CMC, who I'm facing in one of these leagues, does not pop off and get 3 touchdowns. But yeah, wide receivers, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like I said earlier, I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have some touches taken away because Amon-Ra is going to go off this week. Liam says the last 6 underdogs have won on Monday Night Football. Baltimore winning next week.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one. It would need, just like Reed said, there would need a lot of things happen in order for me to even think that that's a possibility. But George Play 01, he says Chiefs, Denver, Packers, or Eagles defense. If I'm going out of all of those there, I think I might go with the Denver defense or the Eagles defense. Yes. But I think I'm leaning towards Denver here. I feel like they have the better matchup because I'm 100% sure that they might have an easier road than the Eagles will with Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants. But yeah, that's me. I think Denver in this one. Reed, do you agree?
I would go with Eagles in my opinion. I think the Giants just had a good week against the Packers and our atrocious defense, and that's why that they played well. So I'm taking Eagles defense to really shut them up.
Nice, nice. It is a divisional game too, so there's a very likely chance that is going to happen. Uh, Dizzle says Lions coach loves to go for it. Yeah, he does. He really does. I mean, I think they're one of the top 5 teams that actually go for it on those 3rd and long downs as well as the 4th and medium. So, but George Play 01 says defense for this week, referring to his last comment, as well as also kicker question: Group or Lutz? The last time I looked at Lutz, I think he is getting like 5 to 7 points a week or something like that. Group I
Group
cannot remember.
is worse than that.
Yeah.
As far as chances are like going off of what's been going on, yeah, they're both not the greatest. Denver's going against New Orleans. Group is going against the Rams. I'm gonna go with Group. I'm gonna go with Group.
He has more chances. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. I feel like kickers is a real toss up. You really have to look at the offense versus defense to even know how many chances these kickers are going to get. And sometimes it's just really hard to tell. So I honestly think it's a coin toss there. I think I've had Lutz a few weeks on my roster, and I wasn't very happy with what he was getting me. Yeah, 5 points from a kicker is good, but you always want those double digits. So it's a toss up. But Dizzle says, that's facts. I told the boys that yesterday. I guess he was talking about his last comment about the Lions. And this one's for you, I think, Reed. He says, didn't want to take Seattle, and Reed worried about Packers making playoffs. He says, buddy, they stink, especially on the road. Pat 6 rings, baby, went into Arrowhead and took down Patty Mahomes.
That's cool, man.
That's a mouthful there.
That was a long time ago. Where are you at now? We better than you, at the very least.
That's true.
Yeah, our defense isn't very good, but I've been happy with our offense, man. I'm very excited about the future, what this Packers offense can do. I don't think we fully stink. We partially stink, which is just what a 7th seed needs, just to partially stink.
And as we've seen too in the draft, it feels like there are a lot more defensive players that are hitting as of the past 3 drafts, in my opinion. A lot of teams have been getting a lot of steals at the defensive positions, so it's always easier to, add some quality picks to your defense than it is offense, in my opinion, these days at least. Liam, he says, have you guys thought about making a 2024 mock draft once the season is over? Of course. We're just not doing it now because the season is still going on. Teams are not really thinking of the draft at this point unless they are the Bears or the Panthers or, any of those bottom 10 teams who have those picks solidified. But yeah, it is something that's going to cross our mind. It will most likely happen.
It's a little harder to do a mock draft right now. Yeah. With not everybody has even declared for the draft. I think they've just started these past few weeks to declare. But once the season's over, then we immediately start looking towards free agency, talking about the moves people have to make, etc. We start talking about the draft when it gets closer. And I actually do research about the draft, believe it or not. Yeah, I'll try. I hate the draft. I can't. We just talk a bunch of guys like, oh, this guy could be really good, or he could just totally stink and never. He would last about 2 years in the league. Like, we don't know.
Yeah. It's so hard to really look into it and really know. Even these expert analysts aren't able to do it. But if you really want some guys who know what they're talking about, look at the scouts for all these teams who have been getting great picks. Honestly, I would look at the Kansas City Chiefs. I would look at the 49ers as well, Seahawks. Some of the Packers picks, I mean, come on. You guys get 3 quarterbacks that are possibly going to be Hall of Famers. I mean, look at these guys. These guys know what they're doing. So those are the people that you really should be looking at, not Mel Kiper, not ESPN's mock drafts. Like those guys do not know what they're talking about. Those are not scouts. So if you can ever get your hands or get in a conversation with a scout from an NFL team or even a college team, talk with them. They know what they're doing. They know what to look for. They know how to pick these guys out of a hat. But Kevin Dizzle, he says, nah, talking about them boys not taking the home dog on Monday Night Football. Oh, the Seahawks. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's hard to choose when we do it on Wednesday. So Wednesday all the way to Monday is hard to really change a person's mind on who we're picking. But especially since our quarterback situation was up in the air, I was even skeptical about Drew Lock leading us to a win. So I thought Geno Smith is our best bet in order to get these wins, but Drew Lock proved us wrong. He's that guy when he comes around sometimes. But he says, Reed, it has been 5 years, go pal.
That's
And he says
5 years, a long time ago.
and then he says Steelers wide receivers drafter. He's like, I'm talking about the NFL scouts every day. I got so many scouts numbers. Oh, I hope so. Slide us some. He says, let me call them up.
All right.
For sure. But yeah, let me go ahead and finish this stuff here. Number 2 at wide receiver, I have Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, followed by Rashid Rice. I feel like those guys are locks. Diggs has just been having really bad weeks. I feel like the Chargers defense will give up a lot of opportunities for him to get the ball. Hopefully I'm right because I have him on my team. But after that, of course, Justin Jefferson, got to have him in. DJ Moore, of course, against Arizona. I think he's going to go off again like he has been these past 4 weeks. CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, DeAndre Hopkins against the Seattle Seahawks. And if Tyreek Hill is healthy, it's either him or Waddle. So Tyreek Hill is not healthy going into this week. Waddle will get a lot of these catches. And that's what I have filling out the number 10 spot there. Tight ends, go through it real quick. All these guys are most likely going to be taken as of now. Laporta, Hawkinson, Ingram, Njoku, McBride, Kelsey, followed by Kmet, Ferguson, Pitts. Yes, I think Kyle Pitts might actually have a good week this week against Indianapolis. And then followed by Kittle. It's just going to be hard. And I'll let you read.
We don't have beef, Dizzle. I just like talking smack. All right. I think you're one of our best fans that we have, and I appreciate you coming on all the time and commenting. All right. Do we need to load into Rust and handle our business 1v1? It would have to be on the last Call of Duty because I don't have the new Call of Duty, so we would have to sell our beef on the last Call of Duty.
I like it. I haven't played Rust in a few years, actually.
I don't even think it's not as good as I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah,
it just had different feels.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's all the quality players now that we play with.
Yeah,
just harder.
For sure.
Nah, but for sure. Yeah, I don't even think I've bought in a Call of Duty game in like 4 or 5 years, if I'm being honest.
No, you bought the last one.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't even think I played it though. I think I bought it.
You played it 2 times.
Yeah, there you go.
I sent you the money for your birthday. I was like, you're gonna play Call of Duty with us now.
Oh yeah, dude, I haven't even finished the campaign, but the campaign was awesome in my opinion. From where I got to,
it was all right campaign.
Yeah, I guess I'm just relating it to like the last one that I played. So I think the last one I played was like Ghost. So
that was a good one.
It's been a while.
Says this is a loyal NSP member. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
For sure, man. We can't wait to get you in a fantasy league next year so we can beat up on you.
Yeah, we can show you who's really boss.
But yeah. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much all for us here. We've had the timer going randomly as I've been talking about some of my top picks for each position. But lastly, here Dizzle says, "Ghost LOL. I was a sophomore in high school." Yeah, I don't even know what age I was either.
I think we were around
same thing almost.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's when I used to play a little bit more games, but I wasn't. I was never really like an online player. But whenever these guys wanted me to play, I would get on too.
We were sophomores, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're probably about the same age, Dizzle. Nice to know that. But other than that, Reed, do you have anything to say as one of our last fantasy videos here? Because next week is the championship for majority of
Mhm.
people.
Right.
So I mean,
Drawing to a close. It was a hell of a season with a lot of busts, a lot of surprises. It's been a fun fantasy season, I think. It's been fun. I'll say that.
yeah, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of frustrating guys out there getting injured and all that stuff. So it's been a interesting season. But other than that, guys, we have Dizzle saying, "Peace out, boys. Let's get those dubs and get in the money." Heck yeah, man! I'm hoping I win at least one of the two that I'm in. Hopefully, get some prizes in the NSP league, but we'll see. But other than that, guys, last comment here from Dizzle. He says, "All starts Thursday Night Football got Kamara and Olave for a statement game." There you guys go. You have heard it here from Dizzle, myself, and Reed. Go ahead and go win your fantasy playoff games, or just get the highest place you can if you are trying to win some money. So, other than that, guys, this is me and Reed signing out on this Tuesday night. As we always say, guys, keep on grinding.